As the gold leaf shimmered under the stage lights, a decades-long silence was finally broken. As the gold leaf shimmered under the stage lights, a decades-long silence was finally broken. A filmmaker who had redefined American cinema for 30 years stood backstage, clutching a speech he wasn't sure he would ever get to deliver. This wasn't just another award ceremony. It was a coronation that Hollywood had delayed for a generation. A night where the ghosts of the past finally met the stars of the future. To understand the weight of the 98th Academy Awards, one must look at the landscape of the film industry leading into 2026. Hollywood was in the midst of a profound identity crisis. The traditional studio system was grappling with the rise of artificial intelligence, a massive merger between Paramount and Skydance, and a shifting audience. Entering the night, the narrative was dominated by two titans of the industry, Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler. For Anderson, a man often cited as one of the greatest living directors, the Oscars had always been a series of near misses. Despite 11 previous nominations, the statuette remained elusive. His film, One Battle After Another, a sprawling political American saga, was the critical darling. On the other side stood Ryan Coogler's Sinners, a vampire thriller infused with sharp social commentary. It had achieved something no film in history ever had: 16 Academy Award nominations. It was a cultural phenomenon that had broken the records of Titanic and La La Land. The 2026 Oscars were billed as a collision between the prestige of the old guard and the innovative energy of a new era. The evening began with a sense of nostalgic energy. Host Conan O'Brien, returning for his second year, set the tone with a cinematic cold open that saw him inserted into the year's Best Picture nominees. The first award of the night, Best Supporting Actress, provided the first emotional peak. Amy Madigan, a veteran of the screen, won for her role in the horror thriller Weapons. It was a win 40 years in the making, marking her first Oscar since her nomination in 1986. Her victory was a signal that the Academy was in a reflective mood, honoring the endurance of the craft. As the night progressed, the technical categories became a tug-of-war. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein swept through the craft awards, taking home trophies for production design, costume design, and makeup and hairstyling. It was a testament to the enduring power of practical effects and Gothic storytelling. However, the tide began to turn when the Screenplay Awards were announced. Ryan Coogler took the stage for Sinners, winning Best Original Screenplay. In his speech, he spoke of the necessity of genre films to reflect the anxieties of the modern world. Moments later, Paul Thomas Anderson took his first trip to the podium for Best Adapted Screenplay. An early indicator of the momentum One Battle After Another was building. The turning point of the evening arrived during the lead acting categories, where two of the most competitive races in recent memory reached their conclusion. In the Best Actor category, the tension was palpable. The race was a dead heat between Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme and Michael B. Jordan for his dual-role performance in Sinners. When Jordan's name was called, the room erupted. Having played twin brothers, one sedate, one volatile, Jordan had delivered a masterclass in physical acting. It was his first Oscar, and it served as a validation for a blockbuster that refused to sacrifice depth for scale. Then came Best Actress. Jessie Buckley, recognized for her haunting portrayal of Agnes Shakespeare in Hamlet, emerged victorious. In a field that included veterans like Emma Stone and Kate Hudson, Buckley's win was seen as a triumph for transformative, quiet intensity. But perhaps the most poignant moment occurred during the Best Supporting Actor announcement. Sean Penn won for his role in One Battle After Another, yet he was absent from the ceremony. The empty seat and the silent podium served as a stark contrast to the earlier celebrations. It was in this moment that the room realized the evening wasn't just about the individuals. It was about the cumulative power of the film. The climax of the 98th Academy Awards was the coronation many had waited decades to see. Paul Thomas Anderson was called to the stage twice more that evening, first for Best Director and then for Best Picture. After 30 years of being known as the filmmaker's filmmaker, he finally achieved the industry's highest honor. In his acceptance speech, he looked at his children and apologized for the housekeeping mess the previous generations had left behind. He expressed hope that the next generation of storytellers would bring back decency and common sense. The impact of these wins was immediate across the industry. One battle after another finished the night with 6 Oscars, while Sinners walked away with 4. For Warner Bros., the studio behind both films, it was a record-tying night with 11 total wins. This victory came against the backdrop of the studio's sale to Paramount Skydance, making the triumph feel bittersweet. The 2026 winners also reflected a diversifying Academy. Autumn Durald-Arkapaw made history as the first female cinematographer to win an Oscar for her work on Sinners. The win for K-pop Demon Hunters in Best Animated Feature signaled the globalized future of the industry. When the lights dimmed in the Dolby Theater, the 2026 Oscars left a legacy of reconciliation. It was a year where the Academy finally paid its debts to the masters of the past while embracing bold innovations of the future. The success of big-budget original stories offered a glimmer of hope for the human element of cinema. In an age of industry contraction and artificial intelligence, these winners proved audiences still crave the touch of the auteur. The 2026 winners remind us that greatness is often a marathon, not a sprint. Whether it was Amy Madigan waiting 40 years or Paul Thomas Anderson waiting 30 the night was a testament to persistence. It suggested that while movie technology may change, the core of storytelling remains a battle for truth and connection. As the industry looks toward its centennial, the 98th Academy Awards stand as a bridge between eras. They show that stories are what survive corporate mergers and shifting tides of time. The gold statues are just metal. The real prize was proof that the human heart remained the most powerful lens in Hollywood.